Before there was the retro collection, even before there was the vintage collection, there was the original trilogy and the Saga collection. Welcome to Todd Manga. This is Mike, and I'm going to talk to you today about the original trilogy and Saga collection figures, which were really exciting back in 2004 and then subsequently 2006. And these were figures on vintage style card backs. And a lot of the collecting community was excited because this is really the first time we got the official figures on similar type card backs. And yes, that was extremely exciting. And I'm going to show you a few things, but if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe because we do all kinds of great stuff like this. And press like if you like this video. So getting into this, there's the two different kind of packaging. I'm going to show you the fact that this one on the right, this original trilogy, that came out in 2004. I think you can see that on here somewhere. And then, yeah, there it is, 2004. And then this one, the Saga, was 2 years later. And it was just another run of different figures that came out in 2006. Now, I want to show you there is no numbering on these. So what you would normally see, a number. So the vintage collection has like vintage 123 for this guy. And if you look at the back, what they did, they started out by showcasing the first release of the figure. And a vintage collection carried that on. But nowadays, vintage collection starts to look a little bit more like what we'd want to see. Now, before we get too deep into showing you every one of these figures, I do want to show you some differences between vintage collection. The vintage collection has a modified bubble to where you can kind of stand these up, and you could set them and they'll stand up on their own. But these won't because they're more like a vintage bubble. Now, some vintage bubbles kind of had that, I guess, down the road, but this is more true to the vintage bubble and packaging, which is why you get the clamshell, and now the clamshell will stand up on its own for display purposes. That's awesome. The other thing is this is the beginning of the super articulated era. Now, I would just say it's highly articulated, and then down the road they went to super articulated. But these still are great figures, even though, of course, mine, I don't open them, so here's the other package. So I'm going to run through and show you each one of these. Here is Darth Vader, and it's on the Empire card back, which is cool. It looks good. And I like the clamshell and how thin it is versus the star case. I thought that was really cool. Now, you're getting these figures for like $10. They were, $9.99, and then they show you the first Empire card, and then there's even it is some interesting card art there, and then a little something about celebrate the legendary Star Wars trilogy that changed the universe forever. There's a little something there. It does show you others in the wave, like, hey, these are the other ones you could get, and I thought that was pretty cool. Now here is Princess Leia, and it looks like I got Princess Leia on clearance for $2.50. And it's funny too, because I actually thought I had more of these, because I think I bought like an extra set of every one that was on clearance, but I don't have an extra Leia for some reason. So maybe I just got the one. Pretty interesting. Original Trilogy. They also refer to Original Trilogy collection as OTC. And that's showing you what else is in the wave. So there's good guys on that one there that you can get. Lando, the Swindler, or was Han the Swindler? Anyway, here we are with OTC. Now the thing that bothers me is his chest is starting to yellow, and you go, well, how does blue yellow? Blue plastic yellows. It's crazy. I still like the card out art. The cool thing is, another thing I want to point out is that they made it look more authentic, and they put the new like chart, the warning sign for the modern day stuff on this clamshell. Of course, they got rid of the clamshells and made the card backs way thinner subsequently, and they're now charging $3 more. Think about the value that these were. You can still find these figures on eBay for a reasonable price. Let's celebrate the legendary. It looks like the same old stuff. Everybody's favorite Stormtrooper, and with a yellow chest. Now this is the Return of the Jedi card back, so they kind of were all over the place with card backs back then, which it seems like these days they're sticking with like a certain wave with a certain card back. Like right now, it's a big Return of the Jedi year, getting skiff stuff, which is awesome. And here we go with oh, Boba Fett. Ooh, Boba Fett. Some other great stuff. All right, here we are with Bosk. Bosk is awesome. Now this is a pretty good Bosk. I think I have picked a loose one up at like a secondhand shop, and I can tell it's definitely better than the '90s version of Bosk. Look, it's unpunched. They should all be unpunched, technically. IG-88. Farm Boy Luke. Do you know this as anything other than Farm Boy Luke? Leave it in the comments. Just joking. So this was a kind of a 12-back homage, and you can see they had the little price tag spot where the 12-backs had those. But if you look at the back, it's only a 4-back. So I got a 4-back, and then the retro collection is a 6-back, and then the official first figures were 12-backs. This is Sand People, and yeah, pretty cool. You know, I'm starting to think I don't have them all. Because I know I don't have IG-88. So, yeah, maybe I'll track that down. Han Solo. Now, this is the Scoundrel. You're a Scoundrel. And, of course, this is the 12-back homage. I love the pill with the everything in there. There's the back of them. And, yeah. It's like a hero's wave. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, this card back, I always thought this was kind of a silly card back. Just looks like he could barely hold the lightsaber. He's just wielding it all funny. But I do love this art that they made. It's like dramatized. There we go with the card back. And that was, you know, showing his vinyl cape, and now we have cloth goods. And Leia with her Endor combat poncho. Looks good. Nice looking figure. See, I was so excited for these when they came out. This is actually my fillers for my actual vintage figures until I got actual vintage figures. And we have C-3PO in his Empire card. Yep. And it looks good. And you know, he doesn't have a warning label because he doesn't come with any accessories. So there's no choking. That's interesting to think about. That's so fun to get a toy with no accessories, right? I don't think they release them with no accessories these days. Pretty cool. Alright, so we have Yoda. Like, Yoda is awesome. I was so excited to get this because Yoda, actual vintage Yoda, is a very expensive carded. Especially on the Empire card because that's the first one he came out. And he's very popular. And he's real little. So, yeah, very exciting stuff. Yoda. Yoda. And we have... Okay, now I'm getting confused here. Because this is a Saga figure. So we're going to get into Saga now. And for some reason, I don't know how I ended up with a lot of these figures in mismatched cases. Okay, so this is really like not a big deal. But... these are all in the wrong. They have the wrong case. And I might have actually shown one saying it's Trilogy when it's Saga. I apologize. You'll see in the back, this is actually a Saga figure. So this is the Han Solo in Hoth outfit Saga figure. Now the reason that probably happened is I did buy some of these used. I wasn't 100% in on all of them. And I'm still missing a few. Same thing here with this guy. And I've noticed because I had a spare, and so I probably ended up buying someone's collection or something, and it was just in there. And they had the wrong packaging, but this guy is indeed a Saga figure. A Saga. Same thing here. Is indeed not Trilogy, but Saga. So, in case I showed that wrong. I don't know. That's just a weird quirk, and it bothers me when stuff like that happens. Alright, so everybody's favorite Greedo. So basically the Saga collection returned in 2 years later, 2006, with different characters. And I don't know, I actually think there were a couple that were the same. I think they might have had Vader twice or something, I don't know. But anyway, there we go. There's the back. And now it's Celebrate the Legendary Star Wars Films that changed. So there's still the same, just little blurb they put on the back. Now they're showing, instead of 4 backs, they're 5 backs. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so I think I just showed Bosk and said it was original trilogy. So there's a 4th one. I don't know why I got so many of these that have the wrong clamshell. I think clamshells are cool and they're awesome. Anyway. So you got to have a Stormtrooper, but this is the Snow Trooper, Imperial Snow Trooper. Really cool guy. You know what? I don't know if it was already supposed to be that color, because I think he's painted. And I think the fact that he's painted, you're not going to see the yellowing, because the paint's not going to yellow, oddly enough. 5-back, Saga. And there he was originally on an Empire card. I want to point out how these clamshells actually say Star Wars on the back. And I don't think they could have, the star cases could have said Star Wars. That would have been a violation of copyright infringement or something. Alright, so we have the Luke X-Wing. And I know that this is a pretty exciting figure that they just released in a 3-pack that people are excited about. And there's talk of them releasing, it's like $100 to get an X-Wing. To get his X-Wing, so they need to do a 6-inch X-Wing. Like, why are you gonna do a 6-inch line, no vehicles? But 5-back, it just blows my mind. Just now that you look at history and you say we had a 4-back, a 5-back, a 6-back, and a 12-back. Interesting. All right, so we have Scout Trooper. Now I love the Scout Trooper. This guy has some decent articulation, it appears, but and it's Saga. But I think he's yellowing. Like, I think that none of that was paint. I don't think he's supposed to have that yellowish tinge to him. Sad but true. And you see where he was painted on the shoulders isn't turning yellow. And this is turning yellow in air-conditioned, dark, cool environment. That shouldn't happen. It's Luke Bespin. Awesome. He's got some good articulation. I don't know if his hands pop off or not. I bet you they do. I know I pick up secondhand ones that have good articulation and are always missing their hands. And I'm like, oh, what a waste. Come a long way since the vintage one, haven't we? Look at that guy. Look at that dude. The last one I'm going to show you, I think I already showed you. Haunted Hoth? Well, whatever. Maybe I did. Saga. Maybe I got a second one of him too. But anyway, I'm curious if any of you still have these and if you collect these and if you like these. Who collects the vintage collection and doesn't collect these? And what do you think of the clamshell and all that and keeping it protected? If you missed out on this whole collecting era, is it something that you think is cool? And how do you feel about the fact that you had a $2 clamshell included with the figure, and it was a little bit more true to the original with a bubble, and it was $3 cheaper? Well, anyway, like, subscribe, and Tidarium Hanger out.